It is beginnings, and today we're joined by a couple who are working very hard and making great strides in their success. We say hello to Carly C. and fiance Mike Matisa. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm really great. Thank you so much for taking the time to jump on beginnings and the idea, of course, talking about where it all started, where you're at now, where you're going, learn a little bit about you. And let's start at the beginning, Carly. I mean, what was a typical day in the life for you growing up as a tween or a teen?
Wasn't normal. While everybody else was outside, playing, having fun, I did soccer and I came home and I went right to my room and started playing guitar and music. I was into music since I was little.
Okay. Did you find yourself running around the house singing while mom was cooking or dad was cooking or?
When I was younger, I used to have an Easter bunny that was blown up. And that's how this all started. I used to sing in front of the TV watching Disney movies and I would sing. And after that, it kind of progressed. My mom, we got like it was American Idol karaoke where you plugged it into the TV.
Yep, yep.
And then I started doing that. And then they would start listening through the wall and they would hear me sing. And they're like, she could actually sing. Like, this isn't something little. Like, this could be a big thing.
Sure.
And we just kept progressing from there to where I am now.
I love it.
Never stopped.
And I have great respect for anybody. And you've got a great voice, a real powerful voice. Yeah, 100%. I've seen some of your videos where you're singing at weddings, or of course the songs you have up on YouTube. A couple of singles right now, including the one you're pushing to country. I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But I loved singing when I was like in 6th grade, and then my chorus teacher came along, and she's like, she tried to foster that, and then the change happened. And I want to sing in my church choir, but I can't read music. But you've given me some encouragement because you're self-taught on guitar, bass, piano. I mean, how natural did that come to you?
Pretty natural. I just always wanted to be able to play music. And this was a time before YouTube was really big with karaoke tracks.
Right.
So I found out that you could look up tutorials on how to learn to play songs. So I started doing that with the Titanic theme song. I learned that on the piano, and then it turned into, all right, what guitar song can I learn?
Okay. All right.
And then once I was familiar with chords, then all the apps came out where you could look the chords up for the songs. And then it just progressed.
So you took the time to learn the instruments, the reading the music, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Everything.
That's good. Good for you. That is ambition. Because I think, when I was that age and you were busy singing and playing soccer and going home and learning everything about music, I don't know. I wasn't that ambitious. I wasn't, sadly. So good for you. Pretty versatile. You got pop influences, rock, a little bit of punk in there. Current single, You Made Your Bed. It's a jump into country. I love it, but why country? Is it just because, why not? Or
so I've always wanted to do country. Like, I've always wanted to move to Nashville. It's just never happened. And, I started maybe 5 years ago pursuing country. Did it a little bit, stopped. And then I just kind of started writing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got into writing for TV and film. And for that, it's just you write whatever you write.
Okay.
So now it's kind of like in my head, like I'll be in the shower, which is where I wrote this song at.
Okay.
And it just came. And when I came out and I wrote it, it was country.
Isn't that brilliant?
I written songs in the shower where I came out and, Mike would be like, that's a punk pop song.
Okay.
Or, oh, this is an 80s song. And we would just figure it out.
How'd you and Mike meet? Mike, you want to tell that story?
Well, let's see. So our mothers lived in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
And they both had some stray cats they were taking care of. So they met through there. And then in some conversation, one of them said, either my daughter sings or my son's a musician. And it was, oh, we should get them together. Maybe my son can help her. He's got a band. He has a recording studio. And, at the time, Carly was a teenager.
Okay.
Late teens.
I think I was like 17.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure.
When we met.
And I didn't want to meet her because I was like...
And I didn't want to meet him.
Yeah.
Because...
it's just the age thing. So.
Well, that, and sometimes when moms get involved, sometimes we want to find our own path. And when the moms are saying, you two should get together, you're like, no, Mom.
So my mom put me in a car one day. She said, come on. I said, where are we going? She goes, we're going down the street. I was like, okay. I end up upstairs in, what is that, like her back door room?
It's like a back bedroom that they turn into an office.
Okay.
And he's sitting there. His mom comes in. My mom comes. We sit on the couch. And he basically, I guess, was very cocky. And he goes, all right, what do you want to sing? And I was like, I don't know, look something up on karaoke. So we looked up a Katy Perry song, and that was it.
Nice. Awesome. All right. So you had her at Katy Perry, I guess. So
Yeah, I mean, she just had this very distinct raspiness to her voice that is rare, not only in males, but for females, rare, very rare.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Another song of yours, and I love the title, "In Love with Amazon Prime."
Yeah.
Is this autobiographical?
Yeah. This day in particular, he just kept yelling because I think I ordered 4 or 5 things and they all delivered at once.
Yeah.
And he saw the amount of boxes. So he's yelling at me and then he goes into a meeting. So I'm done work at this point because we're at like an hour different.
Right.
And I'm on the floor playing the guitar and he comes out and I'm like, look, just hear me out. I know it's a joke, but just listen to this chorus. I maybe get out a sentence and he starts crying, like tears. I'm like, all right, I know it's bad, but whatever. He goes, no, you need to finish this and put it out.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to play it for my wife when I get home because 9 boxes showed up last week in one day. My ring camera battery was almost drained by the amount of activity that was happening. I'm like, come on, what is going on here? So anyway, I can't wait to play it for her. She'll roll her eyes and so forth. Dance Moms, how'd that gig come about?
So a producer named Edgar that actually lives up the street. I don't know how we keep meeting people.
Seriously, your neighborhood is happening. I don't have that kind of action in my neighborhood.
He's like,
New Jersey.
Okay, apparently.
He lives off the street, and someone told us about him a year before I actually met him, that he's a producer, he does this and that. And I've been told that so many times that we kind of just said, yeah, okay. Finally, Mike reached out. We got together, we did some songs, and then Dance Mom reached out and they're like, we need a track that's like this.
Mm-hmm.
So one night he goes to sleep at his dad's. I work out here in the studio. We do 3 songs in 48 hours.
Wow.
For Dance Moms.
Came almost organically, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, they came to us first. Like the way it worked was they wanted a specific song, then a mom didn't like the dance. So then we did a different song. Then another mom didn't like whatever was happening. So then we did another one and they agreed on it.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, that's after only 3, that's kind of an achievement, I think, because it could have gone on a lot longer than that, right?
Oh, yeah. But we've done, I think total we did 6 or 7 for them.
Okay.
And the turnaround time, we get like the invoice, whatever, at like 9 at night, our time, New Jersey. And they need it by like 9 a.m. California time the next day.
Wow. Okay, you shot your shot on Idol and The Voice. Are you done with like reality TV or would you consider like jumping on America's Got Talent or anything like that?
I don't want to do it. My mom still has this dream, like, let's go stand in line for 18 hours. No. I don't want to do it. I had The Voice approach me again. Was it last year?
Yeah, a year ago.
And originally I said no, and they kept coming hard. They're like, please just send us a singing video. So I went through it all. Like I went through the back door kind of.
Sure.
And in the end, I was told I basically was too successful for them to mold me.
Ah, I hate that.
So, but I'm like, you found me online. You knew that before you.
Right. Thanks for wasting my time almost a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But thankfully, like not thankfully, but because it was kind of still during COVID.
Okay.
Everything was virtual. Because I would have had to go on to California to do everything I did virtually.
Okay.
So that saved me.
Who would you fangirl over if you met them in person? Like the one person you just would probably ugly cry over when you saw him?
I think I would fangirl. I love All Time Low.
Okay.
But I'm not like one of these obsessed fans. Like I don't stalk out of somebody's house. Like I see them as people just doing what they like.
Okay.
Like I really don't idolize anyone. I just like whatever they do.
Okay, well that's fair because you look at it like they put their pants or shorts or leggings on one leg at a time, right? Mike, how involved are you in Carly's career? Like, what is your role here?
So I'm basically, sometimes it's more my dream than hers, I think I might say. She's the creative force and I do everything PR related, marketing. I play guitar and bass on her songs. I co-produce them with her. I hire all the PR people, the radio promoters. I keep track of all that stuff, coordinate appearances and things like this. Right. So I'm on top of all of it.
I love it. You like her hype person, her tech person, all of it. Producer, manager, everything.
Yeah, okay. I love it. I mean, it's been my life since I was, younger than her. So
well, it's kind of good because it kind of really almost equates to herding cats. And since you two met over cats, it kind of works for you. So let's see, Carly C. Something you're into right now, a hobby, a passion that has absolutely nothing to do with your career.
My Jeep.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Is it the full Rubicon or what do you got?
It's not a full Rubicon. It is a Wrangler, so I take the doors and the tops off.
Sure.
But I go to a million Jeep events. I'm dragging him to one in 2
She won a trophy last week.
I did.
Oh, good for you. It's
all decked out.
It's a bit culty, Mike. Are you ready for that?
I don't like it. I have a Jeep. I had a Jeep.
He
before that.
started.
Okay.
And the waving and all that, it's annoying. Like I just need it for functionality, and these people like make it their whole existence.
Oh yeah, no, it's a thing. How many rubber ducks you got?
Oh God.
I only have 4 in the Jeep,
Okay.
but I've probably given out at least 50 because
Okay.
I alternate them.
I've also learned as far as rubber ducks, and this just popped into my head. My wife and I are getting ready to go on a cruise. It's my first cruise. Apparently, leaving rubber ducks around a cruise boat is a thing too. I had no idea. So if you're ever on a cruise, Mike, if you're ever on a cruise, that's a good way to get rid of some of them without Carly knowing. Just drop them around a cruise boat. All right. So I believe road trips can help define a relationship. How do you guys do on road trips?
We'd kill each other.
Well, first off, she's always paranoid that I'm going to get sick on a plane because I did once.
Okay.
So every flight now is, I don't know if I should sit next to you.
You're not sitting next to me.
Yeah, I'm like,
You do it once, and they never let you forget, Mike.
right?
No, I can't. You can't.
Yeah.
And then you in the car, forget it. You're like 4 hours and done.
Yeah, I'm very hyperactive. I stand all day while I work. Like,
Okay.
I'm typing on a laptop.
Sure.
I have like a hyperactive disorder, I guess. I'm very nervous energy.
Okay.
So for me to sit anywhere for more than 4 hours is brutal.
Okay. I get that. Carly, you could do a lot better. You could take that Jeep and just go.
I wanted to drive. My dad lives in South Carolina.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm not going if you're driving.
I'll stay there all day.
Oh, man. Okay. What part of South Carolina?
He's in Myrtle Beach.
Okay. My wife and I visited Charleston a couple years ago. Beautiful city, beautiful area. What's next? I mean, we started at the beginning, but what's next? What are you guys looking into? Any projects you're working on?
I don't know. We're too random.
Yeah, I mean, before this country ballad came about, she was pretty set on the path because she had In Love with Amazon Prime, another single that came out after that called I Don't Even Like You, another pop punk one.
Right.
And she has 3 or 4 more that are like 70% done that we need to finish.
In the pop punk realm.
Yeah.
Sure.
So our plan was just keep putting pop punk stuff out for the next year and a half. But then this country song came about and I was like, there we go again. I was like, this is too good. We have to put this out.
Yeah.
So I called our team up in Nashville and everything. And here we are. So
good.
I sidetracked this.
Hopefully this turns into something good and big for her.
Yeah.
I feel like this one's got potential.
I hope it does. And I'm gonna leave you with this question. You of course, you kind of led into it, Mike. Carly, you're into all the different genres, the pop, the punk, the EDM, all of that. How hard is it for you not to want to fit in?
I don't want to fit in.
Okay. All right. Because I mean, there's that temptation to you think, one might think to themselves, boy, I've got to be a little bit more like this or look a little bit more like that if it's going to lead to something. I mean, look at Jelly Roll. Look what Jelly Roll's doing now. He looks nothing like, a country singer, and he's just smashing it.
I mean, when we went to Nashville in 2016, all the girls, long, flowy hair, cowboy boots or booty shorts, and then I shaved my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like whatever I do, and if they like it, they like it.
If you go to my Instagram, that year that we played on Music Road, we did a showcase, and there's a meme that I created on my Instagram of my cousin Vinny.
Oh, nice.
And it says, Carly and I blending in Nashville next week. It's like, it's not going to happen.
Right. Oh, yeah. And you blend. Yeah, I love it. All right. You two keep on doing your own thing and making music and being successful. I'm really excited to see where this new single goes for you. CarlyCmusic.com, where you go, or anywhere you can find music to learn more about Carly C and her music. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning on Beginnings. Hope to have you back when we have more stuff to talk about, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, JJ.
Thanks, guys. That was great. And I will send you a link when I've got it all put together on a blog page and the interview is all chopped up and we launch this podcast. And I'm glad you guys are going to be a part of it. So
yeah, thanks for having us.
I got to ask you, you really did your research. How did you know about the Idol and voice stuff?
So I mean, the internet. I'm not going to lie, but you guys are sharing your time, and I feel I do you a disservice if I don't come to an interview prepared. And that's for anybody. Interview before you was Fortune Feimster, who's coming to town to do part of her comedy tour. I really knew nothing about her. I learned this years ago. I was in Virginia. I was in Harrisonburg, Virginia, doing country radio, and I think it was Ricky Van Shelton was doing a show in town. And I knew he was doing a show in town, and he wasn't scheduled to talk on the air, and I was doing an afternoon drive, and all of a sudden, I got a call from one of the salespeople at the place he was playing, and they said, hey, Ricky would like to come over and chat, and do, I'm like, okay. And I knew nothing about Ricky Van Shelton, and the venue was like 10 minutes away, and they were driving. I had like 7 minutes to put together a somewhat cohesive interview, and at the end of it, he's like, man, that was one of the best interviews I've ever done. And I was lucky, I was fortunate, But that's always kind of been my goal from here on out, to try and get people to say, "Man, that's a good question," or to be, to have a good reaction to the interview, like you just did. I mean, it's important. You guys are sparing your time, so I don't want to waste it. So.
Wow. I think this was probably the best interview we've had yet.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much. I mean, there's a curiosity factor. I do my show based on what do you know, what are you curious about, things like that. I'm always making notes in my phone saying, "Hey, Siri, make a note about this or that," as I'm driving around.